All righty. So it's April 24th, CSE-160-D01. I think I sent out a blastogram to everyone that I rectified the lectures in, or the problem with lectures of the last 2 or 3 now. I posted before the dictionaries, functions, and try except lecture. And I have posted the lecture 10, which was on text, text files. And then lecture 11 is on a special type of text files called CSV files. And I might even have something to add to the dictionaries, functions, and try except. I didn't put any, I did not put any Jupyter Notebook files in there, and that might be nice to do. So I'll make sure that happens. And I think I want to take a little bit of a look at homework 6 today, and maybe some other things, but here we go. Oh, where's this one? Dictionaries. And let's see what else we would like to put in there. Did I have a try except example? I think so. There it is. And I think we had a functions example as well. So let me do this. There's Python functions. And we can go down here. There's try except. Functions. And dictionaries. And maybe we can do a drag on here. And I guess we'll have to do it again. Okay, so functions, dictionaries. And try except. So that fixes the lecture 9, and make sure you have files you can look at. Let's go back and take a look at 6. I haven't checked. Has anybody, completed exercise 6? Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Nothing gets by me, because I'm sharp. All righty. Course content. And I actually have these files in my directories, which will be better. So, but just so each person knows, there's a bunch of files associated with homework 6. And let's take a look at those files. And while we're here, I had intended to add a URL to this particular item right here for Git. And it might be in the documents. I think I mentioned it one time in class, but let's make sure we put that in there. This is a really good YouTube video. It takes an hour and 10 minutes. You don't have to go that long. If you go like 45 or 50 minutes, you'll really have it. And it's here it is. And we'll put what happened here? Oh, I know what happened. Told you I don't miss anything. Okay. Oh, come on. What's okay? What we care about is the URL for this person. He really does a good job on this. And you can do exercises along with him, and you really get the gist of Git. Weird. All right. We'll put this one in here. And we'll get rid of this underline thing. There we go. I don't know, just make sure they're all the same. And there it is. So you can copy and paste or click or something like that in there. and that's in Unit 6. Okay, so homework 6, here we go. Read me first. Read me first. Yeah, boy. So he introduces the assignment. And he has a tutorial he likes, which is in here. You're going to install Git, which that video will show you how to do for Windows. Download the standalone installer for 64-bit Git for Windows, setup for Windows from this place here. I think that's where I got mine. Run the Windows installer, choose the default options, open a command prompt. Enter the command git -- version. If it is installed, the version will be printed. So if I do this, I go CMD, and I type git. I wonder if -v will work. Yeah, you could type git -v or git. What's that? Either one of those, -- version or -v. Will tell you, and that says, oh, you've got Git installed, and that's great. I think you're going to find that during these homework, you're going to want to use the command prompt from Anaconda. He goes on to explain how to do it on Mac OS, and you sort of have to install this package called Homebrew, and so there you go. That's all that. And these are all Windows things. Unzip the file. Now, the file he's talking about is download HW06A getpractice.zip. Move the file from the downloads directory to the PyCharm project's homework 6 directory. So you have to make a PyCharm project called homework 6, and we can certainly do that. I have Anaconda here, and I have PyCharm community. Hopefully you're familiar with this process by now. When we launch it, and we need to create a new project. So it says projects, new project up here. And the name of this project will be Homework 06. And we will create it. I never checked that creating main.py script. If you're working on a big project, you might like to do that, but it's not useful for our projects. And they say they have an interactive lesson available for using PyCharm and all that, but we don't need that. I guess they're telling us tips of the day here. Okay, great. Close that. So we have homework 06, and we're going to have to move some files into our directory, right? So we look at our project. See, yeah, because that's where I keep my PyCharm projects. You probably keep yours in a certain place. Come on. Okay, good enough. So I will go to here's the homework 6A get practice.zip. I will copy that and I will go to way down here to users Jeff Cooper and PyCharm projects. We go in here and we find homework 6. There we go. And we put this guy in there. And then if I can right click it and extract all. And what were his instructions? His instructions were unzip the file to the directory. You will now find the Git practice, Git programs, and results directories. So, right, I think what we'll do is go back here. And it says, do you want to make a subdirectory called HW06A Git practice? No, we're going to have them, we're going to have this stuff extract right into our PyCharm projects homework 6. And so I better get rid of that guy and then say extract. And it shows the files. That's what we need, another copy of Windows File Mangler running. But so we have Git practice here. .idea is something else. Git practice, program files, and results. And that's what he said we'd have. Right. There we go. All right, that's great. So now we're ready. If you have a Mac, that tells you how to do it on there. And now we got to go to the Anaconda prompt, which is right here. Come on, people. Oh, I already had it up, sorry. So we go here and we want the command.exe prompt. I believe that's what he's asking us for. This is different than the CMD .exe prompt I ran earlier. This one has all the background information to interact with Python and also Git. Now I can test that by saying git -- version, and there it is. Oh, thank you. So we now have a reasonably intelligent CMD instance, command instance here. I think we can put this down. Okay. Go back to our instructions. Open the following documents in this order. Follow the instructions for each document. Git practice. Oh, wait a minute. These say 5, but I believe they're all in 6. Are they not? And that's that. So that's the end of README. But let's see if we can find these files now. Where's our thing up here? Are they in Git practice? No, there's only a README in there. Program files. This doesn't look like what he's saying. Hmm. Everything's got to be hard. And we'll double check what files he expected us to see. Get practice, get remote repositories, Forge O, dictionaries and try, and functions. So, it's funny, those are not in, as great as they are, I don't believe those are in the zip file that he had us expand. So if we go to here, we see that we have I get it. My bad. It's module 7, and that's why homework 6 submission is down there. Okay. So there's that zip file. There's one for dictionaries and try. There's one for functions, get remote repository, and get practice. That's what he asked about. So we have to bring those down into PyCharm. And I happen to have them on my system. You can, download them using that thing. Okay. So we have these, get practice, get remote repositories, dictionaries and try functions. Okay. And so we're going to copy those and we're going to put them into not sure where we put those, but he says that we download those things. Open the following documents in this order. Follow the documents for each, follow the instructions for each document. I'm just going to put them right in there with the other things. That's what we have to do. I guess we have to do exactly as the instructions say. So let's do that. PyCharm projects, homework 6. I'm going to paste those files in here. Okay, and then I'm going back to PyCharm, which is here. And I guess I'm going to open files. Open, and he says the order to open them in. So users Jeff Cooper PyCharm is where these are going to go, or where they exist. And here we go, PyCharm projects. So we can click into there. All right, we're on the homework 6 project. And let's see, the order, I think, might be very similar to the way they're listed there, but the order is supposed to be get practice, get remote, dictionaries, and functions. And I think that's very much how they're listed. Wrong. That's not what I wanted. File open. Well, I guess we have to open them because they are Word files. So we'll just open. So we can't open those in PyCharm, obviously. They're files, and then we do what he says. So so I don't get to open them with anything. All right, so they'll be opened with LibreOffice. And 4 of these things will open. And I think maybe you don't have to open all 4 of them at one time. You can probably just open them one at a time, but go in the order he says. And then follow all of this stuff down here. He'll tell you where to go. Open a terminal or an Anaconda prompt. I recommend the Anaconda prompt. Enter the following commands. Replace the CSET username with your own username and the email address with your student email. So you're going to do these particular commands. Git config is the way that you configure Git on your system and set up any repositories on your system. All right. So this will be to practice with local repositories. All right. So I think the thing there is you just do the step-by-step of each of these 4 Word documents. And make sure if you're going to use a command prompt, that you use a command prompt that you launched from Anaconda. I believe that will be better. So we'll put that back down there. Here you'll see the common Git functions, displayed for you to use. Once you've installed Git, he takes you through some directories there. And he shows you some Windows directory commands, but you're going to do this git init. Okay. Git init will create, in a directory, it'll create a repository. Okay. And you'll wind up with a file in that repository, and the file will be named .git. Okay. Or it may even be can't remember if, yeah, it's a directory. And within .git are all the configuration parameters for your instance of Git, this program that you installed. And the Git workflow is listed here. So, you know, very typically, once you init a directory and you have, maybe you have a bunch of Python files or whatever, you're going to use git add to move those files to to what's called the staging area. It's really important to understand this concept of staging area because it's one of the things that sets Git apart. And that video that I put the URL to, he does a great job of diagramming, you know, and explaining. So he does it visually, verbally, and he, you know, completes it and shows you the results. So you add the files to the staging area. Git is aware of the files, but the files have not been saved. Used git status to display the files in the staging area, and the files are not being, and the files that are not being tracked. So if you have files in there, they're not being tracked. And right now, as you just admitted your area, I don't think any of them will be tracked. So you use git commit with an informative message to add the files to the Git repository. And git commit, it's like git commit -m quotes, and you might put something like initial commit to repository of source files or something like that, you know. Very simple, but informative message. If you use git log, it will display, it gives you a summary of all the commits that have been done. Now you've only done one commit. But if you were working on a particular project and you created a new file, you would then add that file to the staging area, and you would do a commit with a -m message on it. And the other thing about Git to remember is the files don't leave the staging area. So if you make another commit, it would commit all those other files as well. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or whether you want to remove them from the staging area. And he explains that specifically in that, or explicitly in that video. So those are some of the common Git commands that you will use. Let's see. The next section will repeat these commands several times. You will not be changing the programs. You will copy the changes from each of these directories to the programs files directory. Each directory has files that represent changes to files during the development process. Well, let's just go look and see if that's true. In the program files directory. Here's the program files directory in my PyCharm projects area, homework 6 area. And there seem to be a bunch of files here. And they have changes, and I think he's going to ask you to maybe bring in, so you don't have to create the changes this first time. He's going to have you bring them in. Copy all the files from PyCharm projects, homework 6, program files 1, start to the Git practice directory. So, do we have a Git practice directory? That's a good question. Nope, wrong thing. Oh, here we are. Let's do this again. Let's try open. We have a homework 6, and we do have a Git practice directory. All right. It just has a README in it. So let's go follow his directions. Let's go get everything from the you'll copy in the changes from each of the directories in the program files directory. Your directory has files that represent the changes to files. So you don't, again, you don't have to do the changes. He's going to bring in files that have changes in them. So here we go. We're gonna copy all the files from program files 1 start to the Git practice directory. Okay. No, wrong. Sorry. So we're going to go to the 1-start directory. There's only one program in here, so I'm going to use Control-C to copy it. I'm going to go back to Homework 6 program files. He wants me to put it into Git practice, which is up here. Dummy. Git practice. And then I put this in here. And now I have the one file that's in there. And so, you know, we've got to work both in PyCharm. Well, we don't have to do anything in PyCharm, I guess. Let's see. Got too many things open here. Here's where we are currently. We moved that rectangle 01.py into this area. And my guess is he's now going to have us. So a directory listing of the Git practice directory is listed below, and it just has 2 files, readme.txt and rectangle01.py. And that's what we have so far. Now we're going to have to, I don't think I did a git init. Remember when we had to do git init? That must be in the program files directory. Or in the Git practice directory. So I've got to go into that Git practice directory with my terminal. Let's CD down there. We've got PyCharm projects. And we've got Homework 06. And we want to go into, let's just do a dir. Git practice is a directory, so we're going to go cd git dash practice. I like to use tab completion. And now we can do a dir in here. We got all this. So he wants us to create a Git repository, right here. So we do get, I'm sorry, not get, git init. Initialized empty Git repository, blah, 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 blah. Now, if we do a dir, I guess I got to do a dir AH. Kind of like Linux, you know. We can see that there's a .git directory in here, and we can also see there's our other files. So great. We now initialize this for Git, and he wants us to add. There we go. He wants us to add something here. Copy all the files. Here we are, a directory listing. Now, get add star. He wants us to add everything to the repository. And so we go out to our command prompt and we say git add star. It's just letting you know that on a Windows system, text files typically have a carriage return and a line feed to indicate a new line. In Linux and other systems, Mac is Linux based, they just have a line feed character to signify a new line. So what Git does is in a Windows system, will say, warning, the working copy of README LF will be replaced by CRLF the next time Git touches it. And they say the same thing in rectangle.py. So while you're working on them, you will have both carriage return and line feed, CRLF, because you're on a Windows system. But it stores them in the Linux format where there's just a line feed. And that's fine. If you were on a Linux or Mac system, it wouldn't do this because it wouldn't need to. It's already just a line feed at the end of the line. So it's just an old, this dates back to Unix, actually. This idea of carriage return line feed in Windows and just line feed in Unix. So, okay, we have added these files. And I think we can do something like, yes, get ls files will tell me the files that are in the staging area now. Remember, get add puts the files in the staging area. So he says, stage the files. There we go. And they're in there. Okay. So right now we'll do a get status. Not really. A get status. And it tells us no commits yet, changes to be committed. So there's a way that we could remove files that we didn't want to commit. I remember I told you there's a way to do that. Don't use the RM command in Windows or the whatever it is, command in Windows, DEL or something like that. Don't use that. Use git rm -- cached and then the file name to unstage the file, take it out of the staging area. So nothing has been committed yet. And we go back here, commit the changes to the repository. Started rectangle project. See it in his commit message there. In fact, why don't we just do this? Show what sleaze. You go down here, do that. So I'm gonna git commit. So everything that's in the staging area, readme.txt and rectangle01.py are going to be committed, and it's going to say started rectangle project. These are new files. All right. Oh yeah, we only got 1 minute to go. So I say enter, and it says 2 files changed. And he, there are differences in these files, I guess. Let's see what else and so let's do a git status. Sorry. Just hate saying git. It's just, I was brought up, you don't say git. Now, see, we get the magic message. It says git status on branch master. In other words, we are consistent with the checked in, with the top level of the repository. Nothing to commit, working tree clean. All right, and now let's take a look at what is staged. If we do the git ls-files, we still have these guys in the staging area, okay? But it's okay. We can modify them and add them again and, all that sort of thing. We also have them, let's see. Yeah, we have them right here. So if we were now to make changes to them, the fact that they are already in the staging area won't hurt us. We will just overwrite that, and the next time we commit, that'll go back into the repository. And then if we do a git log, won't have much there now. They do have this, unique identifiers here. And this is a tag, if you will, that points to the head of the repository. That is the latest checked in things. And it just says the author was me, it'll be you in another, in your thing, the date, the time, started rectangle project, boom. All right, so there's our first sample thing. So I will be making a video about the second one where it says Git with remote repositories, because you will need to access the Git repository that's on our server system, CSE-160-D01. And we want to make sure that everybody has if they can just reach it, or if they need an account. I can't remember what that said. But your repository, I guess you have to have your own account up there. So I think you copy some stuff into your own account, and that becomes a remote repository. And that's kind of a cool thing, because you have, remember, Git is a distributed system. So it'll keep a copy of the repository on. You can have it be on your system and up at CSET2. I want to double check what that remote access requires. So that's it for today. Any questions? Let's see. What are we doing here?